Hi everyone, it's Joanna from Nestine Story, and today I wanted to share an update on my diverticulitis, or at least my diverticulitis episode I had, I think it was 15 months ago. I put out a video and it was a vlog back then when I went through that and was diagnosed with diverticulitis, but I see a lot of comments coming in about it, and I try to get back as much as I can to all the comments because I think a lot of people who are diagnosed with diverticulitis go online and try to find what they can and have found me through that video. But it's hard to really update people in a quick comment. I think it was, it's a very bizarre and complicated thing and something I had never heard of until I was diagnosed with it. So before I jump into my update and how I am now, here is a little recap from the video I put out about what I went through and what diverticulitis is. So I don't know, there's something wrong with me. I am not well. I don't know what is wrong. So yesterday, so not last night, but the night before, I woke up in the middle of the night with pretty bad pains, kind of like in the pelvic area and abdominal area and through my back, and then I just kind of brushed them off. I had a heating pad, and then throughout the day they kind of persisted. So I started taking Tylenol and stuff, and then during the night I woke up and went to go to the bathroom and was super lightheaded and dizzy, and then and just still in a lot of pain. So this morning when I woke up, Mike was gonna head into work, and then I went to go try to get the kids ready for school, and I could barely stand up. So I've got this pain, but then I feel very, very weak and lightheaded. Almost, I don't know if after I had surgery or a C-section, that feeling of trying to stand up and just feeling really weak and not well. So I have no idea what's wrong. I don't know if this is a flu or I have an infection, I don't know.
So quick update. Took Joanna to the doctor's appointment. She was having some abdominal discomfort. She's in a lot of pain. Past 2 days it's been kind of been increasing over the nights, and she couldn't sleep last night at all. So anyway, I went to the doctor. Doctor did not like what she saw, so she sent us to the hospital to emerge.
And he said, look, you're very tender in your abdomen. I think we should do a CT scan because there's something going on. Anyways, it turns out I have diverticulitis, which it's hard to explain, but basically in my transverse colon, so up here, in some people like me, these little pockets can form, these almost little bubbles, and then in them can catch bacteria occasionally and develop into an infection, and it's diverticulitis. So basically my transverse colon is infected. So I want to say something before I jump into my story. Everything I tell you that has worked for me or my story, anything that I've told you, please check with your doctor first. Go through your doctor first and double check if it would be right for you. So let's start with the recovery after. The recovery after was pretty awful. So I was in horrible pain, and after a few days, the antibiotics cleared that up. I'm very sensitive to antibiotics, so I actually felt quite sick to my stomach from them, but at least that intense pain was gone and the infection went away. But I was so exhausted after. I just felt like it took everything out of me. And I think it was about 2 or 3 weeks after I was diagnosed, I was to meet with the general surgeon again, and that's who diagnosed me in the emergency room. And I said to him, I am so exhausted. Is this normal? And he actually said, yes, he's noticing this in a lot of his patients who are recovering from diverticulitis, that they're just talk about extreme fatigue for at least a month after. And I would say it was a month. It was 30 days of just total exhaustion. It was hard. I kept trying to get back going, and I couldn't. I felt awful for about 30 days. And then I started to feel back to normal. But then the fear set in. So after my diverticulitis was diagnosed, I had a colonoscopy booked. And so I was diagnosed at end of August, and my colonoscopy, I believe, ended up being in November. And that was just to check to make sure there was nothing else kind of sinister going on. And it started to really get in my head that maybe there was something else going on, maybe possibly like cancer in my colon. don't even know what set that off. I think just because I knew that was something they were looking for to make sure there wasn't anything else. And I think because my age, was 34 at the time. And I was very young to be diagnosed with diverticulitis. And also the other bizarre thing was I had it in my transverse colon, which is very rare. It's not usually there. So I was starting to really get in my head that something else was going on. And anytime I didn't feel well, and the fact that I was just not bouncing back, I was getting really in my head. So I don't know if you remember, if you follow me for very long, I went to get a live blood analysis. And the reason I actually did that was I was grasping at straws coming up to my colonoscopy just for some sign that I didn't have cancer, and I knew that that was a way that you could check your blood cells and make sure that they were okay. So that was the main reason I did that, was because I just needed someone to tell me that everything looked normal, and it did, and it was fine. And that actually brought me a lot of peace, and I was able to make it to my colonoscopy. I had my colonoscopy and everything was clear. I didn't have any more outpouching or anything else going on. In fact, I had had a colonoscopy way back before I had my thyroid diagnosed. I was very hypothyroid and had to have a thyroidectomy. And when I was going through that testing way back when I was maybe like 19, I had a colonoscopy and I was diagnosed with irritable bowel syndrome back there. But this time they said I didn't have that. So, so that was good. I was able to get the all clear, everything's good, and just to make sure that I watch what I eat so that I don't have another flare-up. A lot of people have asked me if I've had another flare-up afterwards, which is very common too. You really don't want to have one after another episode of diverticulitis because you can be put on antibiotics for so long, but then if it's really bad, you could have surgery. I have not had another episode, and I think I do credit a lot of that to what I eat. So in terms of my diet, I get a lot of questions about what to eat. So there's a lot of people who say like don't eat small seeds or don't eat popcorn or things like that can get like caught in the little pouches. But then I've read a lot that says that's not true, and it's more about red meats and high fat foods or a lot of fried foods. So I didn't know which way to go. My doctor had given me the all clear on the whole seeds thing, and I did a lot of research on just like fiber and everything. So what I've done, and the biggest way I've switched my diet since then, because I really looked back to the month and the weeks leading up to that episode, I had traveled a lot and started to eat a lot of unhealthy food, stuff that I wouldn't usually have, heavy foods with lots of sauces, fried foods, lots of red meat, and that's not something that I usually have. So I really wonder if that played a role in it. So I've really cut down on my fried foods quite a bit, and lots of red meats and anything like that, upped my fruits and vegetables and my fiber. And I do have seeds here and there, or raspberries and things like that have little seeds, and I've never seen a difference. I will say though that there's been maybe like 3 times over the past year where I felt this like pain. It's just this little pain in a similar spot that brought back that memory, and I have no idea if that could possibly be tied to it. And every time I felt any kind of ache and pain down there, I was super careful. I would lay down, and then I would like really, reel it in about what I was eating and make sure I'm drinking a lot of water, eating a lot of fiber, and lots of fruits and vegetables. So that's been something that I've also been just very conscious of, but I know that different things have worked for different people. I know going vegan has worked for people. In fact, last year, after I was diagnosed, I think I went vegan for a couple weeks. And I've just, since not being strict vegan after a couple of weeks, I just am very, very conscious about having a lot more plant-based meals in my diet. So that's something I would say I've also done. But overall, my health now is really good. I did have a really bad episode from this past, it's funny how it's like August again, from August until about a couple weeks ago, of like almost like a dumping syndrome, which when I would eat like a salad or anything healthy, it would go right through me. Like I could barely eat anything other than like bland foods, or I'd have to eat like lots of apples and peanut butter, like natural peanut butter. That was like something that would sit well, but I couldn't eat a lot of roughage. And I ended up, because I was eating just really bland foods and things, I noticed my weight went up just slightly because of that. But now I've really seemed to work it out, and now I'm trying to work out my digestive system, and I've started to take some probiotics every morning, and then I've actually also started to take betaine pills, and like it's HCl, I believe it is, and I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, that it like helps up your stomach acid levels, help you break down food more. So that's been huge for me. I just will take one if I'm about to eat a salad or something, and I've been able to start eating healthier again and digesting everything well. So that's my update on my diverticulitis. Let me know in the comments if you have that or have found me through that video or just find it interesting in general. But I'm really glad that I have not had another episode again. And I'm always like, anytime I'm watching like a show like Grey's Anatomy and stuff, and I'm like noticing like people in the show will have like come in for diverticulitis. I'm like, that is what I had, but I had just never heard of it before. So yeah, that's just kind of what I've done over the past year, and I have not had any relapses, and I have had the all clear, and I'm fingers crossed that I continue to go without any more flare-ups. Thank you so much for watching, and if you want to see an update on maybe another video similar to this one, let me know. Sometimes I forget that maybe you want to see the outcome of some situations, so yeah, let me know in the comments. If you haven't subscribed yet, I'd love for you to subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.